Do a diddy diddy dum diddy do. Do a diddy diddy dum diddy do. Hello, hello. My name is Mary Moses, and today we are going to talk about water because it is going to set the precedence or prepare us to go to the springs tomorrow. I planned on going yesterday, but I was disrupted by chaos. So it's switching in divine timing. Today we're going to talk about, you're so welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. We're going to talk about the healing properties of water. So today we're going to go and talk about the basics of water, the different types of water, distilled water, spring water, well water, water siphoned through volcanic rock, water siphoned through limestone, water siphoned through sand. We're going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about adding things to water, like crystals, sound, magnetism, olive oil, herbs, and then some glitter, some edible glitter. And then we're going to move water into the aspect of infusing things in water like a tea. Just to give us a good foundation, because tomorrow we're going to the springs. I'm taking you to the springs tomorrow. I'm also taking you to the beach tomorrow. I live on something on an ancient map called the Emerald Mound. Around where I live are emerald waters. These emerald waters make our springs look emerald in color. I also live on the Emerald Coast. The oceans out here are emerald in color. It's connected to the emerald heart chakra, and you can call it Emerald City. This emerald color is the waters that I drink every day. We moved here specifically to tap into the spring-fed aquifer. The closest spring to me is Vortex Springs. Then there's Ponce de Leon Springs, Morrison Springs, Cypress Springs, Pitt Springs, Williford Springs. And these springs are just everywhere. They are living waters, and they are clear, crystal clear. You can see all the way to the bottom, even at 60 feet. Divers often come out here because of the clear water to practice diving because of the visual easiness to see through the water. So welcome. Oh yes, Vortex Springs. If you guys want to go to Vortex Springs, we can go to Vortex Springs. My best friend actually lives right next to the property of Vortex Springs. She grew up on Vortex Springs, and she remembers what it was before it was changed into what it is today. And she's a painter, and she paints water that is alive. And the energy of this water touched her soul, where she makes water that is just incredible and alive. Let me show you a picture of hers real quick. Say hello. Hi, what are you doing today? Hi, Maximus. So welcome to Mary Moses' house and Saul's house and Maximus's house. This is one piece that she did. You can see the water. This is Sharon Johnson. We live by the springs. There's a lot of swamps out here. And she makes, I'm a tree woman. My whole house is filled with trees. You can see tree women there, tree women up there, tree women there, and the tree women here. And my friend is water. So when she makes anything with water, it is alive. I've always told her she has the spirit of water. And this water, you are 75% water. I want you guys to know that if you miss any portion of this introduction into the healing properties of water and how to use it for becoming an oracle, activating your spirit, healing yourself of physical ailments, whatever, I am going to post this on my YouTube channel. So welcome. Oh yes, a nymph, right? She's a nymph. When I go to the springs, you can take screenshots of the water, And I promise you, you will see some amazing things. We're going to talk to the water. We're going to show you and the world how water is alive. All right, let's get started. So welcome to Emerald City, the Emerald Coast, and the Emerald Springs, also known as Prosperity, Florida, or Panama City Beach, Florida. I'm in between those two areas. Water. Water has many levels. There are deep waters. There are shallow waters. There are waters that siphon through your well that come through limestone or sand or even rock or volcano ash or volcano rocks. And there's city water. This is water that's been processed. And it's become an issue, city water has, because people are becoming dependent on pharmaceuticals, and they're not realizing that many of our bipolar, depression, anxiety, all comes not only from dehydration, but comes from a lack of drinking the appropriate water. Also comes from drinking water that is acidic, and we're not aware that our pH is directly affecting our neurological pathways, our happiness, and the foundation of joy. So knowing that living waters should be pouring from your heart chakra, let's talk about the frowny face of water. When we pass away, our blood goes into the septic system. Whether it's feces or blood, it goes into the septic system. This septic system goes to a place where they clean water with bleach, and then they add fluoride or whatever else to the water. And fluoride is a stone that is okay. It is good for you in very small doses, just like most medicine. You don't want to take 20 pills of Excedrin PM because it would kill you. Same with fluoride. Fluoride is a sedative. It will actually make your teeth brittle if you take too much. So putting it in water, you're gambling on how much somebody is drinking and how much would actually harm them. It's not a good idea to add it to our water system. And so when you're thinking of living waters or dead waters, well water that comes from the earth through stone or sand, limestone, these are living waters. And you can activate the water to make them more alive. But there are places around the world where if you live near a place where water is siphoned through volcanic rock has a large amount of fluoride in it. So if you feel tired, or if your teeth are brittle and you're losing bone density, it may be the water. If you live in Tennessee or places where stone emits radon is a gas that comes from water and is very unhealthy for you. So study about radon and rocks that have radon when you're thinking about water. Now, most water is very good water. And so just being educated as to where your water comes from, whether it's through sand, limestone, or volcanic rock, or rocks that have radon, you'll be able to have control over your health by understanding what water you are drinking. Okay. So you can collect rainwater if you don't live in the city and maybe have it tested if you cannot get to well water. Well water is just from the earth. So let's assume that you have the ability to get well water or some kind of spring water or even rainwater, and then let's eliminate all the other waters just for the time being. Distilled water is waters where all the minerals have been leached out. It's not really alive. Distilled water has no minerals. So molecularly, it's not that good for you, but it's not bad. It's just not that good. It's almost like not good, not bad. So anyway, like I said, I live on the Emerald Coast, and the waters that come from my shower, my fountain, come straight from the aquifer right near Vortex Springs and Ponce de Leon Springs, and the water is emerald. The emerald waters and the Emerald Coast is so connected to the emerald heart chakras, where living waters pour from your heart. Every day I drink a glass of spring water that sits on top of a magnet. And I put a crystal inside with a plastic straw because metal straws aren't appropriate for the magnet. I take my 963 hertz and I activate my water, and then I drink it. Sometimes I take my glass of water and I put it under the moon, a full moon. And I activate my crystal with the sun and then put it in my water. Some people think that you can add light to your water and it will activate with light in addition to sound. I'm not sure about that. I think it's fun, Some people like to put fruit in their water for vitamin C boost. And also fruit is living waters. So if you can't get living waters from well water, eat a lot of watermelon and a lot of fruit. Sometimes I put Himalayan sea salt in my water, especially if I've been out in the sun, because Himalayan sea salt has 84 minerals. So if you live in a place where you don't have a lot of mineral content in your water for whatever reason, you just take a tiny, tiny pinch. It's not like a lot. You won't even taste it really. And you just sprinkle a little bit in there. And you're just boosting your negative ions. You're boosting your mineral contents. Now, baking soda. If your pH is acidic and you've tried to boost your pH, one thing that I've learned and what my higher self taught me is that pH is directly connected to hydration, and pH are the foundation of all health, including mental health. Cancer loves an acidic body. And if you're having a difficult time raising your pH through food, then this is what I do every day. And my pH is about 7.0 or 7.2 every day. We'll use this glass here. I take a glass of water and I use premium quality baking soda. It's very fine baking soda. I put about a fourth of a teaspoon in the water. It seems like a lot. Me and my husband share it. And every day I take 2 sips. That's it. Tastes terrible. That's it. I take 2 sips. My husband takes 2 sips. That's it. We don't make this much, but that gives you an idea, right? All right. Now, olive oil. He poured in the oil and the wine that restores my soul. He saw me bleeding and dying on Jericho Road, and he poured in the oil and the wine. The oil that is healing for both your soul and your body is olive oil. Olive oil on a molecular level is more like your own body oil than any other oil on the planet. So if you put a little bit of olive oil on your skin, it'll actually absorb into your skin without feeling oily because your body likes it. Internally, it repairs your organs. It naturally has vitamin E and vitamin K. So olive oil is one of those things that you occasionally, if not every day, put a little bit in your water or take a teaspoon of olive oil, because oil helps your system to run smoothly. especially your intestines. So if you take a little bit of organic extra virgin olive oil and put a couple of drops or a spoonful daily, you will increase your longevity, your life. It'll make you younger, vitamin E and vitamin K. It's also great for scars, many other things. But people swear by it internally and externally. It is the fruit of life for a human body inside and out. It also helps with neurological transmitters because you're like a car. Your body needs oil. So the wine in that saying in the Bible is an antibiotic. So an antibiotic can be salt. So wine can be salt. Wine can be beeswax. Beeswax is a natural antibiotic. But oil and wine are the two things that a human body needs. And I consider salt a wine because it's an antibiotic. So oil and wine are the two things. And why is the wine like salt? Because you sweat salt and you cry salt. So salt, you are a negative ion emitter, and that's what your heart chakra needs to generate living waters, both in the physical and the ethereal levels. So positive ions comes from bacteria, cell phones, cell towers, technology like, computers and televisions. And these positive ions mess you up. You'll start feeling depressed. You'll start feeling unmotivated. You'll start feeling terrible if we don't realize that our spirit and our body needs oil and wine, salt and olive oil, in addition to hydration. These three things are the foundation for mental and physical health, okay? You have your 84 minerals. Salt and heat makes negative ions. Since your sweat is salty and your tears are salty, you are a negative ion emitter. Hydration, olive oil. Why don't, when we go to the doctor, knowing that pH and hydration are the foundation for mental and physical health, why isn't it the first thing a doctor checks when we go to the doctor? Your pH and your hydration. Those are the two things I would check. I would look at your tongue and your gums. I would see if you were dehydrated, if you were acidic. I could tell by looking at your tongue. I could tell by looking at the pink of your eyeballs. I could tell by smelling your breath. So these things are the three components for spiritual and physical well-being. And so being a natural negative ion emitter, you do not want to eat too much salt. Too much salt can cause anxiety. Just everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. Not too much, not too much, not too much. Moderation. All right. If you have missed any portion of this about living waters, emerald waters, spring water, well water, city water, you can go to my YouTube channel, Mary Moses Art, and we will talk about it again. Many of us put crystals in the water. There are crystals that are good for water and crystals that aren't. I'm not going to focus on the crystals that aren't because there's many. But there are crystals that are good for water, and that is a quartz crystal. I love quartz crystals for it. They look like ice, and they're really beautiful. There are crystals that are in the shape of stars that you can add to your water. I have a cup of water here where I put a river stone. Let's see if you can see it. Can you see the river stone in there? The river stone likes metal, so I put my river stone water in this metal cup. And some stones have magnetic properties to them already. And that magnetism is very healthy for us. Licking stones is a video that I just uploaded about there are people who lick stones. And licking stones is amazing. I love it. Go watch the video. Now, the difference between a glass cup, a metal cup, or a copper cup also kind of affects your water. Copper is longevity. It gives you youth. And so I sometimes drink from a copper cup. Sometimes I drink from glass. Sometimes I drink from a metal silver cup with my stones. I just use my common sense. I just use whatever feels right to me. One of the things that you could and should add to your water is gold. 24 karat gold. You just put it in there and you just let it sit in there. You can purchase 24 karat gold and you just leave it in there and it activates your water. Gold is very powerful. Some people put things like zinc or chlorophyll in their water. And some people like to put whole bay leaves in the water. It doesn't really add to it, but it's a protection. It has many minerals. It's wonderful for you to use bay leaves. But for this reading, we're going to focus on just water. So I'm going to stop for a minute and see if you guys have any questions so far. And then we're going to get into sacred geometry, how geometry affects water, how words affect water. And then we're going to talk about infusing teas, tinctures, and even putting edible gold powder glitter in your water just for your subconscious mind to start loving water if you don't like it. All right, so let's see what you guys have to say. Yes, this will be uploaded to YouTube on Mary Moses Art on my YouTube channel. So you guys will not miss any portion of this about water, about salt, about olive oil, the different types of water, city water, fluoride, where fluoride comes from, and many of those things. So if you have any specific questions, I'll answer them right now. Can I burn bay leaves to help for protection? That's up to you and your higher self. Your higher self has all the power. Greater is spirit within you than you are in the world. Through your higher self, if your higher self says you should do this, then you should not only do it, but believe that it is the most magical thing in the world. Empowering your higher self through faith and trust is one of the most magical things you can do. So, yes, of course, if your higher self says so, absolutely. Don't trust the world. If the world tells you, oh, nay, you can't do this because of this or that, make sure that you're not eating poison or you're not poisoning yourself or you're not hurting yourself. But if it's something that spirit brings to you, like if spirit says, hey, you see that reishi mushroom over there or some chanterelle mushrooms, go pick those and start making mushroom tea. Or, hey, burn bay leaves or burn cinnamon or do something like that. Do it. Don't question it. It may be an ancient truth that is being downloaded into your heart, not mine. So yes, I do think that burning bay leaves is something that is in divine timing. Like, let's say that you feel led to burn the bay leaf and it just so happens to be the right time. But let's say you remember burning the bay leaf and you're just doing it just out of memory. It's not really divine timing to do it. Doing things in divine timing is very important because sometimes we don't need to burn the bay leaf, but sometimes it's exactly what we need to do at exactly that time, if that makes sense. Yes, burning for protection. Yes. See here what we're going to see. Hello. Celery juice. Ooh. Your mind is the protection. Any tools used for permission slips from that to allow your mind to believe it. You remember Harry Potter when he was teaching everyone in Dumbledore's army. Belief is half, and then the rest is common sense. I mean, for instance, everyone says, oh, smoking weed isn't bad because it's natural. Well, so is poison ivy. You wouldn't want to smoke poison ivy. You wouldn't want to burn poison ivy. You wouldn't want to touch poison ivy. So being aware of what's good and what isn't is all obviously a major component. You could believe all you want that poison ivy, if you smoke poison ivy, that it would be good for you. But I'm not really sure that it would be good for you. I think that knowledge and logic plays a role in belief and action, sound and light, and all of these things play a particular role. Whether it's a full moon, whether astrological zodiac signs are in some sort of alignment, all of it plays a role. So divine timing is so important when it comes to doing something like that. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm just looking to see what your comments are. You called in on this app, so is this you or a scammer I called? What? I have only one page, and I have many impersonators, and this app won't do anything about them. They try to take money in my name. They try to take your information, all of that. It's a huge problem, huge. So anyway, let's talk about water. Now, when we, cinnamon sticks. Cinnamon is so healthy for you. You can take a cinnamon stick and put it in your water. And just to flavor it a little bit. One thing that you guys, when it comes to tea or even infusions, anise star is an antiviral. It's what they used in the swine flu. So anise star looks like a star, and you can put it in your tea. If you have plaque in your arteries, cayenne pepper is great for that. It's also great for dreaming and lucid dreaming. You can sprinkle a little bit of that in your water. So let us remember that you can speak to your water. Whether it works or not, remember the word love here. You can speak love to your water and ignite your water with love, joy, happiness, laughter, whatever. And if it makes you feel better, there's nothing wrong with it. Does it work? Everything is mind. In Hermetics, the entire world is mind. So if you believe a politician's mind, you are stuck in their world. If you believe in a preacher's mind, you are stuck in their world. If you believe in your mother or your father's mind and what they believe, you are in their world. But if you listen to your higher self and you believe that, then you are in the world that is connected to God. Don't listen to the world. The entire world is made up of mind, and so your mind shouldn't be persuaded by anyone but the Holy Spirit or your higher self. Now, the color gold is so powerful. This edible gold powder is used for bakers and culinary artists. And what I love about it is you add a little bit to the water, and who knows, maybe it'll make you poop glitter too. It's so funny. Watch this. Let me add a little bit more because you're going to see how amazing this stuff is. It's so cool. Boop. All right. I don't know if you can see it from here, but it's like glittery, glowy, you know? Put in some amazing colored glowing water that's glittery and it's edible. Edible dust glitter. It says It is edible mica powder, FDA approved. And it's amazing. It's so beautiful. And it has no taste. So, let us switch over to tea. Tea is an infusion of tea leaves, spices, cinnamon, cloves, and there are many different cardamom pods, flowers. You can make dandelion tea. You can go out and pick rose petals and make rose tea. Rose petals are edible. My favorite tea is blueberry lavender. It has vitamin C in it. I love it. I love blueberry lavender. But what I love about tea is honey. Honey makes you more psychic. It makes you a better oracle. You can hear God better when you drink honey daily in your tea. So today, I made us some cinnamon, clove, cardamom pod, dark cocoa powder tea. And this tea is full of minerals, and it's water and tea. So you're not only getting water, you're getting an infusion of vitamin C and many other things that is really good for your heart chakra. This water that I have is filtered through limestone, and water that is filtered through limestone is scientifically proven. I know you guys scientifically, like, you really believe science. It is proven to reduce heart failure. So certain waters help with your cardiovascular health, your heart chakra, and I believe that the emerald waters that come from my well, from the aquifer, filtered through limestone, has healed me of my heart palpitations I used to have. I don't have them anymore. So it's the water that we drink directly affects our health. The water that we drink impacts our mind, our neurological pathways, happiness or depression, joy or defeat. And so when you're thinking in terms of physical and spiritual health, always begin with water. All right? Know the water that you drink. Know how to activate it. Know what to put in it. Talk to your higher self. Make infusions. Add baking soda. Add a little salt. Add some olive oil. There are things that you can add to your water to really boost your mood and boost your health. Tomorrow, we're going to go to the springs. We're going to talk to the water. I'm going to show you how water is alive and how water is connected to trees. The minute we start talking to the water, the trees will start moving. The minute we start talking to the water, things will start shifting. And I want to go early because I don't want anyone else to be there. We're going to not only look at the springs, but we're going to look at some different areas. So we'll go to Vortex, and then we'll go to Ponce de Leon Springs. And then from there, I'm going to be going to Panama City Beach, the emerald waters and the emerald coast of the ocean. And so the negative ions that emit from the ocean are profound because heat, which is the sun, hitting salt water, gives you a substantial amount of negative ions, which is why when you go to the beach, you feel so happy, right? So, just to give you a little rundown, water, clean water, should be a sacred thing that you do for your holy temple, which is your body, daily. Activating your water with magnetism, magnets, stone, or crystals. Utilizing either the moon or the sun. Adding baking soda, sea salt, or olive oil, or bay leaves to your water. Fruit to your water. Activating it with 963 hertz or 528 hertz, whatever you're led to. You can also know that your brain is 88% water. All right, your body is 75% water. If you're drinking clean water, you don't really have to activate the water. You just sniff this up your nose. Your pineal gland in your brain, you can hit this and sniff it up your nose and activate the water that's already in your brain, right? So you can salt your food with Himalayan sea salt and add more olive oil to your food. And this will help you with the water that's already in your body. Your body is a natural filtering system for water. So if you feel like you're not activating your water enough outside of yourself, well, activate it inside of yourself. Go outside barefooted. Look at the sun with your eyes closed. Dance. Clap your hands, stomp your feet. Activate energy centers in your hands and your ankles and your elbows. Laugh. Have the heart of a child. Be joyful. And activate yourself through movement, sound, and the sun or the moon, and ground yourself with the earth. So if you guys have any questions, or if you guys want to go live with me right now and talk about this a little further, or if you have any questions, I will invite you to go live and you can ask me what I know about water, or what I know about pH. Oh, I want you to go live with me too. Yaya of the garden, my family already thinks I'm batshit. I may as well sniff my fork too. Yes, you guys, sniffing. This is there's Opal Star's Ankh up there. The Egyptians used to sniff their ankh up their nose. Okay, so you can hit this and sniff it up your nose. It'll activate your pineal gland and you'll start getting downloads. You'll start hearing things. Your spirit, basically. Does my copper and quartz in my water help with the fluoride and chlorine? I don't believe so. You know, chlorine comes from salt, right? And it's a high concentration of salt. And fluoride comes from a rock. Once chlorine is in your water, it's almost impossible to get out except through distillation. But once you've distilled the water, or you've distilled fluoride or chlorine out of your water, then you have no minerals. Look, I know what people say about water, and I'm going to tell you a little story, okay? My godmother, her name was Lynn. In 2008, there was an oil spill here on the Emerald Coast. BP Oil hired people to clean up the oil in the middle of the night. She was one of them. They put asbestos in the water to make the oil sink to the bottom. And so here she was walking around in this asbestos on the Emerald Coast, saving the animals, cleaning up the oil. And they did this about 3 o'clock in the morning so no one would see them. Well, she died of colon cancer from the asbestos in the water, right? Now, and was never compensated, nothing. But one thing she said to me before she passed away, I went to a spring near Lake Helen, in Florida, near Orlando, to go bottle some spring water and spray spring water on her body before she passed. And she said, "Mary, please tell everyone about water." And one thing I learned is fluorinated, chlorinated water isn't just fluorinated and chlorinated. There's more to it. And I don't want to get negative about it, because when you pass away, They drain your blood. The blood goes into our septic system. That blood gets filtered and bleached at the water treatment plants. You're not just drinking fluorinated, chlorinated water, right? The reason it's important to either collect rainwater or find someone who has well water and become their best friend and ask if you could fill up, or find someone who has well water or some way, is because I don't know what they're putting in water. I keep hearing about nanotechnology. I keep hearing this, that. All I know is the plastic and the pipes and everything that the water flows through diminishes the energy of the water significantly, to where when you get the water, I don't know what you can do with it. And I'm not a scientist in the fact that I haven't studied it like that. I haven't collected chlorinated, fluorinated water where you live and tried to revive it. So all I know is when I lived in Atlanta, there were signs everywhere saying, don't drink this water, don't drink this water. It's like all dirty. And I was dying. I had cancer. I had migraines. My lymph nodes were swelled up. And I told God or my higher self, if you're going to kill me, kill me. Otherwise, show me how to heal myself, because I'm not going to the doctor. So the next thing I know, I'm moved down to Florida. I'm living by clean waters, spring waters. I met a woman who was told she was going to die of cancer. Next thing she knows, in our Western medicine, they told her there was no hope for her. She had stage 4, blah, blah. She went to Mexico. They said, do you want to live or die? She said, live. So they made her chop up, they blended up fresh cayenne pepper in clean water and blended it together. And she drank that through a straw for a couple of weeks and didn't eat anything else. She, within 3 weeks, was healed, but they gave her a warning. She had to always drink clean water, and she had to always eat a little slice of fresh cayenne pepper every day. So if you come to Bonifay, Florida, and you ever meet Joanne, you will see cayenne pepper growing around her house, and she has well water that is spring water. It's what's kept her alive, and she's in her 80s now. When she had cancer, she was in her 30s. So there are miracles, there is help and everything. And I'm not saying that you can't revive that water. I'm saying that get a microscope and test it and see, because if you can change that water into living waters, you may be a hero for people, especially if you know what they're doing to the water, what they may be doing to the water. I can't prove what I've heard, but there was a reason Spirit led me down here and away from Atlanta. Holistic healer, yes. It enhances every other, yes. Yes. Living in a desert, you think it would be, encouraged, yes. Let's see who wants to go live. If you want to go live with me, just say me and I'll invite you to go live and we can talk about what you know about water. What is that powder and ingredients? So baking soda helps to raise your pH in your water. We talked about that. If you missed it, you're going to want to follow me on Mary Moses Art on my YouTube channel. And I talked about that, where hydration and pH is the foundation of mental and physical and spiritual health, because you are mostly water. Lemon juice. Yeah, lemon juice. You can add fruit, living waters from fruit to your water. It will just boost your water. Cucumbers, organic cucumbers, that could help your water for sure. Somebody says that salt is from Pakistan and is bad for you. Hey, you guys, please leave negative comments at the door. Like literally, salt can melt. You can wash salt. Salt um is a natural antibiotic. Okay? So please. Himalayan salt is so magical. I get Himalayan salt that you feed for cows, like you get a whole bag of them at Tractor Supply, and you wash them. You wash them until the layer of anything that may have been processed with them washes off. And you just wash them and you can grind them and you can do so many fun things. I make necklaces with them and they're just amazing. So if you're worried about your salt, you think your salt may be a jerk, well, wash it. Salt is absolutely washable. And your body is a filtering system. You get cancer cells in your body every day, and your body cleans out those cancer cells because you're healthy. When cancer cells don't leave your body, it's because you are acidic. It's because you're dehydrated. It's because you're drinking too much soda or you are eating too much sugar. So it's, really anything that you're putting in your body that is a jerk, your body has the ability to clean it out. All right. You do. But water can make you acidic if it's not alkali water. So the acidity of your body, it's very important because you guys, we are inundated with radiation, cancer cells, all kinds of things, positive ions, all kinds of stuff. And your body is a miracle filter system that cleans out cancer cells, cleans out radiation. You're a mushroom. You absorb that stuff and you poop it out. Yay. But here's the thing. If you're worried about something that you think is bad for you, then get what you feel like is good for you, for sure. But your body is a superhero and can do many great things as long as it's hydrated and as long as your pH is balanced. Also, make sure that you drink olive oil. Olive oil is one of those things like a car. A car needs oil. Yes. I add either olive oil to my water or I drink a spoonful of olive oil every day because olive oil has vitamin E and vitamin K. And on a molecular level, it is more like your own body oil than any other oil out there. So if you put a little bit of olive oil on your skin will drink it and you will not feel oily. And it is good internally and externally. People say that when you drink olive oil, it makes you have a longer life. This isn't the kind of olive oil that I drink. I actually go to Pensacola, where they make and press their own olive oil, and I purchase very expensive olive oil for my consumption because I know the healing properties of olive oil. So in the Bible, when he says he poured in the oil and the wine that restored my soul, the oil was olive oil. Wine is an antibiotic, just like salt. Oh my gosh, Cassie, that is so amazing. And it's so funny. You have the golden olive oil and the golden honey and these things that really help with your neurological pathway so you can hear your higher self. Hearing your higher self, the oracles of ancient times used to feed their babies honey because it would make them an oracle. Hearing God, hearing the Holy Spirit, hearing your higher self is connected to food. Your body is the holy temple. So eat honey, drink water, be pH balanced. And suddenly you might just hear your higher self, and you may not seek outside of yourself for answers anymore. You'll start self-healing. Maybe you'll start your own apothecary company, and people will come to you saying, how did you know that this would heal? And you would say, because I was taking a walk in the woods, having a conversation with God. Suddenly I looked down, I saw a reishi mushroom. I didn't know what a reishi mushroom was. I look it up, and do you know what it's called? You know what a reishi mushroom is called? It's called the immortality tea. Did you know that you can boil it and drink it like a tea, and they say that it makes you live forever? Well, I didn't know that. It's just so funny how when you take a walk out in the woods and you're talking to God or your higher self, how food will come to you. You don't have to go to it. And so these little miracles happen all the time. Just trust your higher self, trust your body, trust the process. Yeah, Italians use the olive oil. You might like to know that Zeus is connected to the olive branch, and so is Christ. Christ and Zeus are known as the olive branch. And the apple is actually the olive. It's the green olive. It's connected to your green heart chakra, and it is connected to what we're talking about today. And that is that I live on a place on the map called the Emerald Mound. I live by the Emerald Coast, and the spring waters that are surrounding me are called the Emerald Waters. These emerald waters are filtered through limestone. Limestone just so happens to be a healer for your heart and cardiovascular system. So your heart chakra, Emerald City, your heart chakra just so happens to be green. So all of this is a story that helps us to understand our body, understand our spirit, understand our mental health, and how it's all connected. It really is all connected. It's an amazing story. Mm-hmm. I've heard an apple back in biblical times was closer related to the pomegranate, which is the fruit. It's so funny because I just uploaded a video about what is the difference between a green apple and a red apple, spiritually speaking. And, why does Disney have a worm coming out of an apple? Why does the iPhone have a bite out of the apple? Your torus field looks like an apple. And your torus field, can get torn in a tornado. You know what? We need to go to the office and talk about this. So if you missed any portion of this about olive oil, baking soda, Himalayan sea salt, crystals, frequency, any of this that I talked about, follow me on Mary Moses Art, and we will, and you can rewatch it and see what I know. And I don't know everything, but what I do know has healed me of depression. My father committed suicide. I had cancer, and I've been healed of it by my higher self, Holy Spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, your higher calling. And it gave me faith and hope that I'm right. But your body's different than mine. So you may be told things that are good for you. And I think that it does kind of work that way sometimes. So funny because my husband went to the doctor today. He has type 1 diabetes. And when you take insulin has a pH of 4.0. And many people who have diabetes don't know that they are so acidic from their insulin. So my husband takes his baking soda every day to raise his pH. And it's so funny. Not one doctor has ever checked his pH. Not one doctor has ever checked his hydration. Not ever. And you can die from it. But they don't. And so these are just the basics. This is just the basics. So let me show you what this looks like. Your torus field looks like an apple. Your torus field is spelled like this. I'm going to give you an allegory about apples. And we're going to talk about red apples and green apples. When Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz was thinking about the Wicked Witch of the West, her thoughts went out like a dog. We'll put the word dog here. And her dog went into the garden of the Wicked Witch of the West. We'll just say WWW. When her dog went into the garden of the Wicked Witch of the West, it disrupted her torus field. Your torus field and your body, your chakras look like little tornadoes. They look like cones that look like this. When Dorothy's torus field was stuck in the tornado of the Wicked Witch of the West, her body, which reflected a house, shifted dimensions and went to another timeline. When we connect with a reptilian, it is a green apple. If you watch Harry Potter, you'll notice that Draco Malfoy was holding a green apple. And the green apple, the Draco star system, is connected to Archons, Dracons, and the reptilians. And so the green apple is the green Wicked Witch of the West. It's an allegory of being caught up in the World Wide Web, which is like a simulation. So when you allow your mind through your thoughts to connect to the mind of someone who is reptilian or an archon, you will go into their mind, thereby their world, thereby you will shift timelines, thereby suddenly you're not in Kansas anymore. You have shifted timelines, and now you're under the power of the Wicked Witch. Because in Hermetics, all is mind. All. So if we believe or think or connect to people, especially like politicians and religions, what it does is it puts us in their mind and their world under their control. So what did Dorothy have to do? So funny, her name is Dor, torus field, tornado. Her torus field was in the tornado. So she shifted timelines. She may have died, but didn't die. So anyway, how does Dorothy escape the dominance of being in a timeline that is dominated by a reptilian Wicked Witch? You have to follow the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, the golden yellow brick road. So you start out really small, like a fetus, and you go out, all right? And you go through an awakening. You might like to know that the 3 friends that Dorothy found, shame, ignorance, and narcissism, are connected to the god of the moon named Sin. And you might like to know that Dorothy and her 3 friends makes the number 4, and the 4th chakra is green. So when she made it to Emerald City, she became a horse of many colors, and she became nothing and everything, no one and everyone. Scrub, scrub here, scrub, scrub there. Her and her 3 friends came cleaned. So you have to go through this cleansing process. And when the broomstick was on fire and the Wicked Witch was dominated by water, this is the baptism of water, the baptism of fire. Suddenly, if God is for you, no one's against you. The monkeys and the soldiers were no longer against Dorothy. And her dog stopped sniffing around in the mind of the reptiles, now followed Glinda. And Glinda reflects the Corona Borealis, the Golden Crown, the 7 sisters, the 7 colors of the rainbow. And she reflects the pink bubble. The Corona Borealis looks like a pink bubble surrounded by an emerald color. So that's why Glinda came down in a pink bubble. So When the dog started following Glinda and the yellow brick road, then the dog was able to see the truth. And that is that the great and mighty Wizard of Oz was full of hot air balloon and was false God. So the curtain comes opens. Dorothy realizes, oh, seek first the kingdom of God. And then your Taurus field, which looks like an apple, won't get eaten by a reptilian wicked witch. So don't believe the world is the basis of this story. If you start walking the yellow brick road and you do not become illuminated through light, you will fall back into the center again like a treble clef. So you have to keep going, keep expanding, and keep awakening. And there are secrets to igniting and setting your luminous light body on fire through sacred geometry. The grid of life design, and behind every pleasure and every pain is a sacred geometrical shape. So when we start envisioning through our imagination, instead of thinking about a politician or a famous person or some jerk in your family, where we're sending our mind to the reptilian wicked witch agenda, when we switch our thoughts to thinking about sacred geometry instead, we will start activating something known as your astral body. Astral means a star. So there are 5 platonic solids that are connected to the 5 elements of earth, water, air, fire, and ether, spirit. So your Merkaba is something that you will start creating as your chariot of fire. And your chariot of fire is connected to the 7 wounds of Christ, or the 7 spirits of God, or your 7 chakras. And so your rainbow light body is connecting heaven with earth, and the crystallization of spirit manifesting within your flesh. It's the Christos of your brain. There are certain sacred geometrical shapes that are quite powerful, like the double dodecahedron. Never misuse sacred geometry, but it's a very, very powerful platonic solids that you can imagine that help you to heal miraculously even. So when you get into the platonic solids, you'll start getting into the quantum energy field. You'll start being able to understand the 4th and 5th dimensions. And as above, so below, if you send life and joy energy with your thoughts to that world, you will start shifting and quantum jumping out of your current world, because you will no longer be in the mind of the World Wide Web, the Wicked Witch of the West. So getting into understanding the Taurus field, why the Apple iPhone has a bite out of it, you'll want to get into what is negative ions, how do positive ions affect your Taurus field. Does your cell phone have positive ions? Yes. How do you collect power to get negative ions? This is what I teach. Follow me, and you'll be able to understand that you are the head of and the crown of creation. You are the body and mind and hands of God. You are Christ consciousness that either is dead or alive. And you can make yourself alive through letting go of the mind that you were born in. So if you were born in a mind under someone else's belief or someone else's ways of reacting through emotion, you have to die before you die. So you surrender, Dorothy, and you let go, and you rebirth yourself as someone new, where you hear the invisible instead of the visible. So all these people are starting to tell you, vote for me, come to this church, believe this, believe that, believe in the physical reality. Look at all the pain, look at all the shame, look at all the suffering. And you go, oh my gosh, there are physical people, and then there are invisible people. Oh wow, being born again means that my higher self that is invisible has a voice. Oh wow, if there's a visible me and an invisible me, then there must be visible planets and invisible planets. Oh, gods are invisible too. They may be places, not people. And you begin to understand from a grander perspective or a larger perspective that we are visible and invisible. And we've been so focused on the visible that we have forsaken the invisible. And this is where many of us have stepped up and to step in, not only for our own self, but for the greater audience to say, look, you have a double self. You have a born again self. This born again self has more power than you. Your job is to keep your sacred holy temple holy, feed your spirit, and hear spirit. If you don't hear spirit, you might be in trouble. So the dark ones cannot see you or detain you if you are full of illumination and light. But if you are full of ignorance, shame, narcissism, or are connected to the World Wide Web, you will be seen, you will be detained, and you will be under the power of those who don't care about your crown, your immortality, your ascension, your expansion, or anything. Even Jesus said, if you believe me, you can become as powerful as me and more. So why aren't we? Envisioning the grid of life design, which is gold, is something that we should be envisioning over our heads every day. All right, who would like a free reading? I want to read for someone who cannot hear their higher self. You cannot hear them. You don't see them. So it's time to hear from them. It's time to say, hello, my name is Amigo Ventoya. You did not kill my father, but you love me. And so I want to meet you. I will not kill you. Okay, you want to hear from them. All right, so here we go. We're gonna do several for you today. All right, because my name is Mary Moses, and I will be your mommy temporarily today. You want to hear from them? Let's see here. So I'm gonna just pick one by one. Somebody says for Joey. Let me see where. Mimi here, Angie, love one. Heidi, oh, I love Heidi. Okay. Sarah, Summer, okay, I see you. Stephanie, yes. Okay, Emily, you said I'm having a hard time. All right, so let's hear from Emily, and then if you guys stick around, I'm going to read for you. And Emily, I'm going to tell you what I see when I connect with your energy. I want you to pretend like you're a little girl. You're wearing tap shoes. You're tapping, tapping, tapping. It's an amazing thing to wear tap shoes. And you're wearing an outfit that is like a religious outfit. I'm like, why are you wearing tap shoes and then you're wearing this black cloak that seems like your body is like not able to move very well. So what I want to do is I want to give you a hug and thank your higher self for coming forward for you today to tell you what you may need to know. And you're awakening because you have power in your hair and electricity is pulling your hair up and you can feel it tingling. And I guess spirit may talk to you. You know, hair is an antenna. You know that, right? Uh-huh. Samson and Delilah. Samson had very powerful hair, and when they took Samson's power, it was through his hair. So, Emily, here we go. I hear the number 14. Walk on the ocean. step on the stone, blood becomes water, something becomes bone. That song, I don't know why that song is sent to you. So what's going on? You've made it above the wall. You've been born again. Half of your face is inside a crystal. Your other half is outside, so you're balancing spirit and flesh right now. Your head is being slammed between two cymbals. Sound, frequency is bothering you. Something about, I see it often where many people that I do a reading for are really affected by sound. So let's look at you. You have a father symbol here. Whenever I see a symbol of a father, like a bearded father, it could mean many things. It could be your actual father. It could be that you and your father have contracts, but this guy looks like Odin. So let's go forward. So here is an eagle. And you're making a salute to spirit, like you're obedient, or spirit is saying it's time to obey spirit. There's a male driving a car here, and they're in a bed, and it's a man in a bed, and you're standing over the bed, and it says TV. It actually says TV here. Telepathic vision. Yeah. All right. So let me show you what's going on. Let's go ahead and just bring everybody out. So, you're on the cross as a female. To be on the cross means that you're taking on other people's thoughts, ideas, emotions, beliefs that are not yours. You are nailed to someone else's timeline that isn't yours. There is an egg, and inside the egg, there's a reality there. There's a circle inside the egg. Like, this is what reality actually looks like. It's an egg like that. And there's somebody from the spirit realm looking at you through a telescope, smiling at you. This is my symbol that someone from the spirit world is looking at you, is watching you. And there was a symbol of a diamond or a Merkaba above their head. This means that you have the ability to talk to these spirit guides and these people through creating your Merkaba. All right. So there is a Merkaba above there. But this is you. I need a smaller pen here. And you're saluting. Like a soldier. And this is you learning to become obedient to the Holy Mother, the Holy Dove, which is above your head. She's like the mother goose, and you becoming obedient to that energy because you already moved through the body of Christ. The body of Christ is Yahshua. Yah means moon. Shua means sun. Once you went through the sun, you are now in a female body. You're no longer on the cross, taking on the sins of the world inside someone else's mind. You're actually inside another timeline. And to be here and to maintain this timeline takes obedience and hearing it. So you have a dragonfly here. That is an angel. You have a guardian angel. It's a man. And he comes, I don't know who he is. It's a man. And he comes as a dragonfly also. So it says TV, and the letter T looks like a cross. So there's something that we're watching on television or believing or something that just isn't true. That's keeping us nailed. But it looks like you're blocking it. So, it looks like you're trying to help people in the lower realm. Like you're connecting with people who have not ascended. All right. And this particular person is in a bed, and they look like somebody, I don't know, but they're in a bed and they are soul sickness. This is somebody who cannot produce their own power. They can when we become soul sick, physically sick or spiritually sick, it's because we don't know how to collect power. We give our power away. We don't protect our heads. This is all about protecting your head. Pointing at somebody's head who isn't protected, protecting your head from frequency, from sound, from something, because something will make us sick, spiritually or otherwise. There's somebody who's hugging a child. It's some man and is hugging a little child. And this little child is so cute. So I believe it's somebody from the spirit world coming to say hello. So you were cut. You went to another timeline. You're not in the old timeline that you were in. But you may not know it. Being in this new timeline takes obedience. Like a soldier. The Great Mother will make you powerful, make you awake and alive and full of joy. But we have to protect ourselves, and we can't send our thoughts down to those who will not hear spirit and will not obey spirit. They are, I don't know why, but they will not hear spirit and they won't obey spirit. So you have been taken out of a lower timeline. You have an angel. You have somebody in that higher timeline trying to keep you off the cross. This means out of other people's mind of being nailed to the cross. The eagle is a good and bad thing. So the American flag, America has one eagle. Russia has two eagles, and the eagle collects souls and is about freedom, they say. But you left a place of the eagles, and you're not there anymore. The cross fell, and you aren't there. So now you're here. And I don't know why you're reaching into another timeline, but I really think that your higher self is telling you to stay in your own timeline for now. Why did Jesus leave at 12 years old when they probably could have used him? Because he wasn't powerful yet. He had to go through the baptism. The holy dove had to descend on his head. So when we are 12 years old, which you're at 12 o'clock, we leave other timelines to go and hear spirit and become obedient to spirit and protect our head and our thoughts. Now is a time that you have shifted timelines. You're not here anymore to obey spirit through cleanliness. Clean your diet, clean your house, clean your car, clean your relationships, clean your beliefs, clean your emotions. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Once all that's cleared out, you'll start hearing spirit and you'll obey spirit. And once you obey spirit, this world will become better for you. But when we reach out into the past or where we came from, we'll get polarized and pulled, and our ethereal net gets pulled into someone else's world, and we'll get stuck in between worlds. It's kind of like Neo Anderson at the train station. Nothing happens. He sits there the entire time. Tries to get out, can't. So you'll get stuck in a train station if you don't know how to use your mind in this new timeline. So let's see what's going on right here. You have another eagle there. You have a big star right here. So something happened where there was a photon belt. And this photon belt, we went through a huge star. To our eyes, it may look like a photon belt. To our understanding, it may look like an energy shift. But we went through a huge star that's so big that our entire solar system went through it. And you left the land of Oz. It's a metaphor. And you're not there anymore. And you have two spirits teaching you things. Number one, your fourth heart chakra. This angel is teaching you about time travel and about how your mind works to become an oracle, to see through other people's eyes, to remote view and become a psychic. This person is teaching you how to not get nailed to the cross of someone else's beliefs or mind, and how to keep your thoughts to yourself. And then the Holy Mother, the dove and the goose, the mother goose, you are in her body. So gods are timelines, places, not people. So this is what it's like. There was a god named Osiris. Osiris was not a person, he was a place. Osiris is Oz, Iris. Iris is the goddess of the rainbow. Oz is a place in the Bible called Uz. There's a place called Oz. And it's very much like the body of Yahshua. Yah means moon. Shua means the ray of the sun, like a rainbow. Same with Solomon. Sol means sun. Oman spells moon, right? Well, so you went through the body of Christ. You went through Yah. The god of the moon was named Sin. We were born in sin. We went through Yah, the moon. We went through darkness to get to the light. The land of Oz is the great and mighty Wizard of Oz, who is the false god, the darkness into the light. Iris is the goddess of the rainbow. Solomon is a pole shift. You might like to know that the sun flips every 11 years. Jesus Christ has 11 letters in his name. The sun flips every 11 years, and when you go through a flipping because you made it to Shua or Iris, you go into Solomon's temple. This is where the sun now dominates the moon. And so, sun, moon, sun, moon, sun, moon. Where we were born in the moon, it was really like this. Yah, Shua, where the moon dominated the sun. Then we went through a pole shift and the sun dominates the moon. Well, now that you are in a place that dominates the moon, you've entered into the body of a goddess. Let me tell you the names of all the goddesses that dominate the word Yah. All right. So you are in a white dove or a white goose. And the goddess that's connected to the white goose is Frey Yah. There's also a goddess from Armenia. Her name is Ha Yah. Now they changed her name from Haya to Gaia. But then the Dogon tribe from Africa calls her Emma Yah. These are places that dominate the moon. All right, so now that you aren't in the moon anymore, it's because you went through a star. And this is an invisible star where an invisible mother is now present in your life. You've been born again. You've been rebirthed. And there's rules. And the rules are, don't look back, you'll turn to stone. This is the invisible star. It's known as Sirius B or Sirius C, the dog star. It is invisible. Sirius C is invisible. And the mother of that star is invisible. She's there though. She's about magnetism, and she is about us focusing on the invisible. Now, this has good and bad allegories for you. Number one, don't reach back into your old timeline and think on people or yourself or anything like that. Seek first the kingdom of God and create a new world for yourself, and hear spirit and obey spirit. But it also means that when you are directed on the spirit realm to go heal someone, that's what you're going to do. What I do, I'm just a witness for my higher self. I lay on top of people and I heal them. And then, like the butterfly effect, they don't actually experience illness or death. I, like a dragonfly, come in like a thief in the night and heal people, and they don't experience death. So don't get caught up in someone else's mind, because you'll get nailed to their cross. You'll take on their sins and their curses, and they're not yours to take. You are under the obedience of the invisible mother now, and she will help you through this. But when you connect with people who are sick, you can get sick. That's what the Corona crown is. It's a virus, a spiritual virus, really. Because as a seer, you will see through their eyes, and you will carbon copy their emotions and their thoughts, and then you'll get nailed to their cross, and you'll take on their sins and their sickness. Because the age of Aquarius is not like the age of Pisces. It's different. It's not the same. It's a new world. And what does the dragonfly mean? I'll go over it really quickly, and then we'll move on to the next reading. The dragonfly. Once upon a time, we were born as a human body. La 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 la. We're noticing the physical world. Suddenly, we reach a certain age, usually 12 years old, spiritually speaking, and we become born again. It happens naturally, like the doubling of an embryo. When this happens, you become half flesh, half spirit. This creates a sacred geometrical shape. Behind every pleasure and every pain is a sacred geometrical shape, and this shape is painful. It is the baptism of water. It is the baptism of fire. It is the all-seeing eye and the eye of the needle. It is the fish in the age of Pisces. It is the Holy Grail. It is the belly of the whale where we might fight God. It is also the ark, the boat that you can only enter 2 by 2. Once you get into the eye of the needle or the boat, you will be under many tests that have to do with the Vesica Piscis, the eye of the needle. Baptism of water, baptism of fire, the Holy Grail, the age of Pisces, many things. When you're ready to grow from there, you will triple. This is the Trinity. And you will create another sacred geometrical shape within your spirit known as the threefold flame or the triquetra. It's like this. It is the invisible holy dove. She's there. Now she's talking to you. Now when you're in the boat, this bird may be the black raven. The black raven are your thoughts that you send out that are black. That black raven will never find your home. You have to purify through water and fire and the Holy Grail and many other things for your black raven to turn into the white holy dove. When your black raven turns white, the white holy dove will find your olive branch for you, which is the four wings of the dragonfly, which is the flower of life, which is eternal life, where you become so adept with your physical body that you become the same with your spirit, and your physical body become so similar that you, like a thief in the night, shift from one timeline to another, and you're not in the same world anymore. And you and your higher self become very united. This is where you again grow, not from 3, but to 4, like the 4 wings of the dragonfly. And this is the olive branch. So here's your holy dove, grabbing the olive branch, finding your home. And this is water, fire, eternal life. The cross. The cross where you are nailed to is someone else's mind, someone else's thought, the world of physical reality that is ignorant to spirit. But when you become half flesh, half spirit, that cross becomes ignited and illuminated through the olive branch, the illuminated 4 flower or 4 olive branches of your 4th heart chakra, Emerald City, and eternal life. So you are currently here. You're in your triquetra. I'm going to give you a little secret about the triquetra. In order to be powerful, you cannot be out of balance. The triquetra reflects blue, pink, and gold. Male, female, spirit. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to get along with the males and your females in your life. What it means is when you give your thoughts away, you give your energy away, you must learn how to receive it. You must learn how to get your power back. Otherwise, you'll get put in bed. And when you lose power, you shift timelines. When you shift timelines, you will lose your connection to your higher self and you will be alone. So, receiving energy comes in the form of eating well, cleaning, being kind, thoughtful, seeking first the kingdom of God. Watch your diet. There's food that is life and food that is death. There's water, living waters, and there's soda and drinks that have a frequency of death. Life begins at 70 hertz. Death begins at 25 hertz. Water has high frequency. Soda has 15 hertz frequency. It's below death energy. Gold, spirit. So learn how to give and receive with your mind, your body, your actions, your words, and always balance it with the obedience of spirit. Spirit is greater than us and is immortal and knows. And if we want to bounce our consciousness to our higher self as a united being with spirit and with God, we must maintain that balance in order to have power. I hope this made sense to you, and I'll hold the camera so that you can take a picture to understand a couple of good things for you. Number 1, you're not in the old timeline. 2, you're not sick. 3, you have spiritual allies. 4, you're learning obedience. You're going through the threefold flame. 1, 2, 3. You're balancing male, female, spirit. How to give, how to receive. How to do something with your actions that helps to receive. Cleaning your bathtub helps your physical health. Washing your toilets helps your physical health. This is why cleanliness is next to godliness. Receiving power back is through a myriad of ways. that will help you to maintain this timeline, to hear the voice of the Great Mother, so you don't go back here. So I hope that helped you guys, all of you guys listening to today, that many of you have shifted timelines. And when we think about our mother, our father, grandmother, grandfather, who are not in our timeline, don't think too much about them. Send them love, forgiveness, but don't be polarized by them, because we don't want to get pulled back here. Right now is a time to be focusing on sacred geometry, illuminating our tetrahedron, our Merkabahs, and igniting our knowledge and learning. So when Harry Potter, who has 11 letters in his name, left the Muggles at 12, he opened his fourth heart chakra to become powerful. It was a school. This is why Jesus said, my Father's house is a mansion of many rooms, like Hogwarts. Jesus Christ has 11 letters. He left the Bible at 12. He came back and found 12 disciples, which makes him 13. Harry Potter was a wizard. Maybe Jesus was a wizard, because a coven of witches is 13, which is the new covenant. So you have ascended. You left Oz, you are now in Iris. Ah ha ha! All you have to do is trust. You're doing great. I don't know why you said you were having so many problems. I see that it's difficult for you. Like, it's not wanting to reach out and all that. I mean, I see some male energy here, but don't worry about it. You're doing fine. This is also a holy cup, and your angel is holding your crown. You don't have your crown yet. Your crown is being made through obedience. Okay. So I hope you took a picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you lose any portion of this reading, just go to my YouTube page, Mary Moses Art, and I'll be uploading this video today. All right, who needs to hear from their higher self and cannot hear their higher self? I feel like today is a day to ignite something within your soul, and upgrade you a little bit. If you guys are feeling like blah, then it's time to get upgraded. But you need to understand that you are the antenna. You are the holy temple, and your higher self needs you. And you need your higher self. And you have to work in unison for it to work. All right. Benjamin, hello. Let me put is that your name, Benjamin? Or Benjamin? And you need to follow me if you don't follow me also. I just followed you. Is your name Benjamin or Benjamin? Oh, Benjamin. Okay, great. Hello, Benjamin. Let's see here. You have a fork and a spoon in your hand. We're seated at a table. It's a castle. The table is old and wooden. The old table has a voice. It's alive. We both know it. Nobody at the table knows it but us. We didn't even know it, but even the castle that we're sitting in is alive. Everybody, the elements all around us, the floor, the table, the fork, the spoon, the castle is alive. We're not talking. We're seated at the table. We don't have to talk. We're telepathic. We're listening to everything. Some silly people come to the table. They don't know anything. They misuse the table. They take a knife and stab it into the table. We find them rude. They take a napkin and throw it on the floor. We find them disrespectful. And we don't invite them back into our castle because ignorance is rude. Ignorance is an illness. Ignorance is not okay because there's things that are alive that we don't realize are alive. But a human being, they think everything is dead. Rock, air, water, wood, stone. But everything is alive. Everything has consciousness. And so taking care of things is knowing this, that everything needs to be loved. Our dinner table, our fork, our spoon, our clothing, our hair. And so this is what you may end up teaching one day. All right, let me see what Spirit has to say to you. Here we go. Don't you forget about me. Don't you forget about me. What? Was that song for you? I won't forget about you. Don't worry. Will you recognize me? Call my name or walk on by. Rain keeps falling down. Hey, 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 hey. Ooh, ooh. You're seated on a cloud. If you know anything about clouds, clouds are manna. Manna is the energy or the supernatural invisible power of God that can manifest inside anything and anyone. You have lightning coming and hitting your third eye. There is somebody drawing. You should be doing what I do. I think Spirit wants everybody to do this, to be honest. Being an oracle, you have a church or some building on your head. And this is you creating, I don't know yet. Just give me a second. Protecting your head for sure. But you're being, right now, currently, you're being sorted. And I think that you're going to go into, okay, a couple things. All right, so your house is here. It has smoke coming out of the chimney. The smoke looks like Thoth. All right, but it also looks like a hummingbird. All right, you are in the house of Thoth. So if you know anything about the Egyptian Book of Gates, there are many levels to Hotel California or the ship of Ra or the Ark. All right, when you are born again, you get put into the boat. This is the ark, and you get put into a room. And these rooms are like Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Gryffindor. And you are now currently in the hall or the class of Toth. Now, Toth, that wasn't his name. His name was hijacked from the Greeks. His real name was Jedi. Something, but he was a Jedi. A Jedi is someone who knows how to use sacred geometry in order to do amazing things, okay? So you're learning to square your thoughts and your emotion. You are now in the house of the Jedi. His name is not Toth. He's connected to the square and the compass, and he's very much connected to sacred geometry, but the Jedi. Now, the Jedi of Toth used to hold something that looks like a Jedi. It's the number 11, and it looks like a lifesaver, but it's not. It's something else. I'd have to show you the video. But there's a whole video about the real Toth, and the real Toth was a Jedi. So you are, you look like a Joker or a wizard, like a Joker. From what I understand, there's a couple things that you're going to be doing. You look like a jester. And this means that you should get into writing, acting, being a comedian, anything that helps to influence the human race to basically what you're doing is you're using the power of myth to help human beings who are ignorant and don't know that the table is alive, right? So let's say there's a whole bunch of human beings don't know a lot of stuff, and you invite them to your table. You have to find a creative way to help people understand without criticizing them. So this is the job of the Slytherin. Lose your mother and father, did you, Harry? Polarized by low self-worth and abandonment, are you, Harry? Always looking in the mirror because you miss your mummy and daddy so much, do you, Harry? Oh, Harry, are you afraid of Dementors, are you? Ha ha ha, I'm going to make fun of you because that's ridiculous. You need to stop being self-indulgent and stop being polarized by your own emotions and start being the wizard you were meant to become. And that is the job of the Slytherin. Toth will teach you how to do that. You are in the Hall of Toth. So, with that said, you're on a cloud, and there's books stacked up, and you have a dog, a huge dog. Your feet are actually on the dog, and you have a male energy coming forward from the spirit world. And they have DNA connected to they're the ones basically saying that they're the ones helping you. Like a thief in the night, you shifted and you were born again. This person, somebody on the spirit realm has been helping you. And he's talking. He's saying he says it's not a dog, it's a cow. And you came from the place of 3, but you're not there anymore. You shifted. Like a thief in the night, like a lightning strike. So yeah, you were an Ophiotaurus or something because there's you connected to a bull and a wolf and a dog. So there are 3 spirit guides. I don't know what it is about you and somebody driving a car and going into a car accident, but there was a timeline or something happening here where somebody fell asleep at the wheel. There's somebody here, but it didn't happen, I guess. There's somebody who, there's something about a car. And then there's a Maleficent. Okay. So you come from the bull, and you're with Mithra. Mithra, the story of Mithra is the story of Christ. Christ was cut in half. Mithra had a bull, and the bull was cut in half, and the bull is an Ophiotaurus. It's a story, and it's a story of Maleficent. The horns of the bull of Maleficent and her wings being cut. So here is Maleficent. But this is you. I believe that Maleficent was androgynous, both male and female. And they were the original Adam and Eve before Eve was cut from Adam. They had two souls. They lived forever and all this. But then here comes this jerk that looks like a train conductor. Somebody who shifts people to different dimensions. This train conductor came and cut the wings off where we were half bull, half man or something like that, and punched you, basically punched your power away. This is your story. But here you are now, and you're fine. You need to learn to become an oracle and hear the voice of this Jedi, Toth. And here is this bull. You might like to know that Moses had bull horns. And the wolf is, I believe, Freya. I believe Freya is the wolf. And somebody wants to send you a message. This is somebody telling you that you died. You died of an old timeline. You're not there anymore. I'll show you what this looks like a little bit better. Feet. This is your soul. The sole of your feet. So here's your feet going down here like that. And you went through a star. This means you went through a shift. You are being sorted into a new house. You're in Slytherin. You're going to learn sacred geometry, numerology. You're going to learn how to affect time, open portals, do all kinds of things in this new school. And you're in the energy of Toth, which is more of a Jedi, because that's not his name. And you need to become a scryer and an oracle. And you need to understand what you're seeing and understand the language of God. What does it mean when the sun sets in the west? What does it mean when you hear a train go by? What does it mean when you ask someone a question and then you look at the clock and it says 21:22? These are things you need to know so that you know how to read a room. So if you're holding a fork and a knife and you're seated at a table and other people don't know what's going on, you do. Other people can't hear or see what's going on, you do. Right? And that's what you're going to learn. The crown, somebody here with a crown, somebody is showing you all kinds of strange symbols, upside down A, stars, and this is a cloud. You're floating on a cloud. This means that the energy of the Force is with you, big time. The Force is a supernatural power that comes forward as a cloud. And this cloud, you could think of it as iCloud, but this cloud is called manna. And this manna is a supernatural power of God. Some people have it, some people don't. It's called animal magnetism. People will gravitate toward you. Doesn't mean they'll like you, because in Slytherin, if they are a jerk at the dinner table, you will have no problem taking their plate away and dismissing them from the room. You will learn to become like that, like Doctor Strange. All right, so just keep going and don't get distracted by jerks, people who don't know what they're doing. You're meant to be somebody great. Don't forsake it. And don't question this. You are upgrading your DNA through lightning, magnetic, and electrical power, affecting your third eye, and you need to maintain the heart of a child and have joy. You cannot be serious and do anything. You can't be, I'm a know-it-all adult that knows everything, and that if you do that, it won't work. You have to have the heart of a child. You have to have joy, jingly bells in your hair, and be the joker and be that and learn this so that the people at your table can learn too, not to be a Harry Potter who's polarized by self-importance or low self-worth. Harry Potter could have gone into Slytherin, but he couldn't heal the Voldemort within him. When we bring the Voldemort into our timeline through our thoughts, a war will break out and we'll have to experience death again. We don't need to do that. We literally, if we can completely heal going through the eye of the needle, we can go through the eye of the needle with nothing on our camel, no pain, no suffering, forgiveness, letting go, completely shifting realities. And then you won't have to experience death again unless you bring the World Wide Web or the Voldemort up with you. Then, of course, Harry had to die again. Which, did he die to begin with? Of course he did. How do you know? Oh, because of symbolism. What symbol would make you think that Harry died? Oh, a broken and empty house, like Dorothy. Dorothy thought she hit her head, but her house was empty and broken. This means she died, but she did not experience death. Harry Potter, likewise, when he left the Muggles, was in a broken and empty house surrounded by the ocean on his 12th birthday. A birthday means a rebirth. A birthday means he was born again. A birthday means he died of an old timeline and shifted like a thief in the night and did not experience death. If you don't want to experience shifting again or dying again, you can't bring the Voldemort. Your pain, shame, anything with you. You can't be polarized by low self-worth or self-importance. Otherwise, you will be seen. If you go through the eye of the needle and you illuminate yourself with joy, the jester, then the dark ones cannot see you or detain you. But somewhere in your life, you became dark. And the dark ones saw you, detained you, and cut your wings off. And you had to start over. But now you're ascending, so that's very good. You were tethered before. You're not tethered anymore. The two lines of the lightning strike go to one point, and this Thoth energy is going to teach you how to shift timelines without being caught in the World Wide Web. You will become a master of the net. The master of the net is someone who knows the invisible net that we get caught in. This is where Jesus was a master of the net. He says, let us cast our net and be fishermen of men. So he was a master of the net. It comes from Egypt. It comes from Thoth, the Jedi. So take a picture. Joey, you don't hear your higher self? Okay, I'll read for you next. You screenshot it. Okay, great. So take this as an encouragement for you. All right? Joey, you don't hear your higher self. All right, Joey, try to connect with me. You and I are throwing baseballs, and the baseballs are heavy. and I'm saying, and you're wearing a baseball cap, and I'm wearing a sparkly baseball cap, and I said, this ball's really heavy. What if we throw light balls that only people and angels and spirits can see on the astral realm? And you're like, that's stupid. I'm like, I know, but let's do it anyway. And we start imagining these glitter softballs, and we pass them to each other, and we practice it until one day we actually see the ball, and you're astonished. You're like, that can't be. And I'm like, uh-huh. And so you compare the softball with this glittery, sparkly ball that's full of life force and energy. And you're like, this softball is ugly now. And you love it. And now you start doing things, and it gets you interested, and you're just excited. All right. But that's just what I see when I see you. Let's go ahead and let Spirit say what Spirit sees for you today. There really ought to be a sign upon my heart. Don't judge me yet, there's an unfinished part. But I'll be as patient just as long as I can. Mm-hmm. He's still working on me to make me what I ought to be. It took him just a week to make the moon and the stars, the sun and the earth, Jupiter and Mars. Oh, how happy I will be. He's still working on me. You're going through the divine marriage of the male and the female. This means giving and receiving. It doesn't mean love or copulation or anything else. What it means is that you're going to learn how to use your mind and your actions to give and receive. This is the divine marriage. The divine marriage is a very important time in our lives where we grow we grow stars on our ears because we're hearing for the first time the invisible voice. And so this divine marriage is you hearing your higher self. And then what do you do with the information? How do you use your mind? How do you use your actions? How do you use your emotions for this to work? Well, this is about giving and receiving. That is a school of learning that begins with one title: seek first the kingdom of God. Don't look at the world. If they try to tell you, look at this, look at this, look at this, just look at this train that derailed. Look at these jerks. Look at this politician. You laugh at them. You're now focusing on sacred geometry, numerology, activating your Merkaba, meditation, sun gazing, getting into silly things, being a child, chasing bubbles, connecting with trees and animals, and telling everybody else to F off, because this is your time to balance. How do you collect power? Who do you give your power to? Who not to give your power to? This is the divine marriage, flesh and spirit. Let's look and see what else is here. So someone's blowing a horn. Like a trumpet. A soldier of sorts. You know, bells, horns are often at a marriage ceremony. I wish everyone knew what they were going through. It would help you guys so much easier. So here's a contract. It's a seal being opened. It's a new contract with your new self and a new world. Now, and it actually says something on there. There's, well, so you have a king, some man. This would be like, look, I believe that gods are bodies of time. They are realities. And so this is a god. So this is a time that you're letting go of this god that was once your world. Now you're shifting worlds, which means you're shifting timelines. This looks like Moses. A lot like Moses. Above your head are two aliens. They have long necks. I've seen these aliens before. 1, 2. I don't know if you're getting divine guidance from aliens or not, but you come from people that look like this. And there's a book here. You come from an old timeline. Old book. It says H and 5. 4, 5. And it says Mot. M-A-A-T. Mot. Some god named Mot is coming in your piece. So you have some kind of connection. Let me show you what this alien looks like. I've seen this alien before. In 2020, I saw this particular alien. I'll show you their picture. And I was doing some readings. Let's see here. I don't know if they're good or bad. I don't know. They look like that. They have long necks. And they're always connected with a horn blowing. They're always connected with horn blowing. And they and there's an angel, and somebody's trapped in a trap. And there's that man. There he is. That's that same man. So some people, I don't know who they are, but they have very similar. See, they have the same book. So they're helping you out of a trap. You have to go through the divine marriage to get out of that trap. I guess you were in the body of Mot before, and you're getting out of that trap. I don't know if Mot was a good timeline or not. So anyway, here you guys are holding hands. And there is like a Merkaba. M-A-A. Again. There's 2 combs. Oh, these are 2 glasses. Oh, they're wedding bells. Oh, okay. They're wedding bells. Ding, ding, ding. So anyway, you come from some people that have strange heads, and you have this horse that is your spirit guide, and it's huge, and it's a unicorn. Huge horse, huge unicorn. Unicorns live forever. There are people who had the two horns like the bull, the Ophiotoruses, and then there were beings who had one horn. So there was a difference between the one horns and the two horns. You are a one horn. And so the one horns and the two horns always battle for some reason. Like the bull, they have two horns, but the unicorns, the one horned beings, they're different. So there's this man stepping forward. His face is invisible, and he is in this here, and seems like you're always. And he has the X here, and he's coming from the moon, out of the out of thin air, like invisible. You've lived 2 lifetimes, and you passed from this lifetime as a book. So you died in a timeline, like a story or a book. And then you were a soldier, and you forsook something. You did something, you forsook it. And so you had to go through a myriad of things in your life to get back to being a soldier. But so this divine marriage, let me explain what the divine marriage can pertain. So horse again. So the language of this is strange. It's like the letter Y upside down. It has this symbol. It has this symbol. There's this. You have all kinds of very strange old symbols here. There's a swastika. There's some kind of language here. So the divine marriage is not about male and female. It is about flesh and spirit. It's about coming alive. Now there's a wolf biting a fish. This means you're no longer in the age of Pisces. Pisces is done. Wolf biting a fish. So that's the wolf biting the fish right there. There you died. You come from some place. You were in the body of Mot, which was a god. You're no longer in there. You come out of that body. I'm going to ask specifically, after this marriage, you're going to be entering into a new timeline, a new body, a new experience, a new knowledge, new self, new relationships. You may die of your old relationships and rebirth as new because it's a new timeline. All right. So, yes, this is a house. This means you've entered into a new house. I would like to hear what this spirit has to say, what this energy of this God. If you could tell me what is the name of this new house that Joey is entering. Freya. So really, your electrical energy is connecting to a magnetic energy, which is the female, which is Freya. It is the divine marriage. It is going to affect you on the spirit realm, your dream realm, your physical self. You will learn how to use your mind appropriately, your actions appropriately, your words. You may learn how to activate your body, your luminous light body, or your Merkaba. And there's a lot of things that you're going to learn in this new timeline. So you're merging with Freya right now. You've left the body of Odin, maybe. But why you have this elongated skull over here, I don't really know. But there's another name down here. It's called Mia, Mia, Mary. So you come from the body of Mary. You went to Mot. Now you're going to Freya. So many of us were in the body of Christ. Yah is the moon. Shua is the sun. To be in Freya is illumination. Yah is the moon. So now you've left Yahshua. You've left Yahshua. You've left the age of Pisces. You are now in the age of Aquarius. This age of Aquarius means there are a mansion of many rooms, like Hogwarts. And one of the rooms that you're in is Freya. So let's go ahead and bring your piece out a little stronger so you can take a screenshot, and I'll give you a little explanation as to what this means for you. Let me get another pen. Notice that these alien people look like Mary. Their heads look like Mary. Maybe that's why they covered their head like Mary, because they have very long necks. They're like aliens or something. I don't know. Notice the two bells are facing away, but then the Merkaba are two bells like facing each other. Maybe a communication here. Looks like cut in half. You were cut from an old timeline. You know, it looks like you were a monk or something strange, wearing strange clothing. Okay, take a picture so you can see. Notice that there will be a bunch of secret things in there. You in the hands of the other female makes the letter W. And I wish I could tell you more about those aliens. I really don't know. So if some of you guys have connections to different types of energies or people, not everyone is connected to those energies, but some of you are. And those aliens are, I think they're your allies. They're just kind of a blueprint of your soul, a piece of your soul. So, you came from here. You went from Mia, Mary, H45, to Mott. You died of an old timeline. And the horse's face is cut off. These are all timelines. Cut, 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 cut. And John and I talk about this. We have 4 pieces of our souls cut in different timelines. But the one that you're in is the one that must be energized. And I think it helps all your other pieces come together through a vortex, through the divine marriage, through a myriad of awakenings and ascending symptoms. You will, I think, and John and I are just now talking about this. He says this, I say that. I mean, it looks like we're very powerful and you're very powerful. Shifting worlds is uncomfortable. As a matter of fact, you will be leaving people behind, including yourself, and then rebirthing as a new self. And if you can persist in all efforts as this new self and leave the old self behind, your world will get much better. So the divine marriage in sacred geometry is the 2 rings of power. You were flesh, and now you're half flesh, half spirit. Spirit is going to talk to you. This is the divine marriage, and this is connected to the Hall of Freya. The Hall of Freya is a place. In Egyptian mythology, the Egyptian Book of Gates looks like a rectangular boat. You enter in the boat once you are 2 by 2. You have to go through the divine marriage. Once you get in, you will be ushered in this quote unquote celestial ship or boat or mansion of many rooms or Hogwarts or Hotel California. And you will learn. You will go on different levels. And in these rooms, you will learn how to balance flesh and spirit. That's where you are right now. You're learning how to balance flesh and spirit, male and female. And you're learning that there is such thing as shifting timelines. But you're doing a great job. You're at 12 o'clock. You're being guided divinely. You're not in the age of Pisces. You're going to the age of Aquarius. You are part of some sort of race that is connected to these people. And these people, they're strange, I know, but we all have strange energies connected to us. Some people are centaurs, half horse, half man, which this is a man that's a horse. You may have been a centaur. Some people are half bull, half person. This is why Mithra, who was the original Christ, cut the bull in half. We were half animal, half human, like the movie The Golden Compass, and we were cut. So when we're cut, we have a blueprint of our original self as an animal. And this animal is either a holy dove, a lion, a lamb, a dog, a wolf, a horse. And it's who we are. And it's connected to our experiences on other realms. But in this realm, and where you are right now, you are going through this divine marriage. And It is something we all go through. I've been going through it. I think we are always going through either the divine marriage or the threefold flame. Sometimes we simultaneously go through the threefold flame and then have to go back and pick up the pieces to make sure that we are balancing the male and female, the giving and the receiving. And then spirit is not quite here yet, meaning that you haven't manifested the invisible Holy Mother because you're just now learning to balance male and female. And these aliens are teaching you and your twin, your double invisible self. So it's a time of learning. It's a book and it's a timeline. Yeah, it is like we keep going around the wheel. I agree. But I did see something once. I saw that we live on a clock like this. And there's these timelines. And we bounce. We're in a good world when we're on top. When we start going down here, we go through darkness. So darkness, ignorance, losing memory. You might like to know that this is memory, this whole thing. When we start coming up over here, we start gaining memory back and power back. But it's like we keep going round and round. Lose memory, gain memory. Lose magnetism, gain magnetism. The earth loses magnetism. It's lost 30% magnetism in the last, 1,000 years, something like that. So we're constantly flipping. We forget, we remember, we forget, we remember, topsy-turvy, topsy-turvy. This is why Topsy-Turvy Day was always celebrated on 11/11. The Carnival was always celebrated on 11/11. This is called a flip. You might like to know that the sun flips every 11 years. Goes through a pole shift. So something happens to our memory and our power and everything at a certain precipice where we go from darkness to light. Now, here's what I don't know. I'm wondering if this is the eye of the needle. I'm wondering if there's a way to get off the clock and go through the eye to some other place. Boom. And it's better. I don't know. I'm wondering if this is the eye of the needle, the 0 point energy. Because when you're here, it's always good, bad, light, dark, male, female, this dual thing going round and round like a clock. But I also saw this. At this point, a bird eats it. At this point, a bird eats that and it goes away. So if a bird comes and eats that one, then does a new one grow there? So let's say you're born. You learn to become half flesh, half spirit. You go through the threefold flame. You go through the quadrupling. You hear spirit. You're ready. And here you go into the mouth of the bird, which is kind of like a new earth, or I don't know what. But that's what I saw once. I don't know if it's right. Cannot be proven. If you're wanting to learn about sacred geometry in order to become a master of the net so that you're not focused on the world and the troubles of the world, or even indulging in your own emotions, low self-worth, or even self-importance, then you're going to want to put yourself through a school, and you're going to want to start studying sacred geometry. The very first place I would suggest to start is to get a subscription to Gaia. I like to spell Gaia like that. That was the original way it was spelled before it changed to Gaia. And you're going to want to look up sacred geometry. on Gaia. There's a doctor who is incredibly adept, and he not only teaches you about sacred geometry and the origins of it, the numerology connected to it, but about how you can actually put physical meditation practices into action every day. And so you're going to want to go to Gaia.com and subscribe to Sacred Geometry. There are a couple of videos on YouTube, but the entire series is on Gaia. You can also, if you want to invest more monies, I don't know how much he charges, but Vesica.org is the only place where they just now allowed people to come into this school to become an initiate of the net. This was always a secret, the initiate of the flame. And Vesica.org is where you can learn to become a master of the net, like Thoth. And Thoth's name was Jedi. He was a Jedi. So go to Vesica.org. You can also study sacred geometry on Gaia. I personally have gotten into this. If you're going to want to just do general searches, the very first thing you would search is Plato. Plato had a group of initiates, and there was a sign above his door that said, if you do not know sacred geometry, do not enter. Because there are secrets. So Plato was the origin of the Platonic solids. And Plato was the one who knew about the invisible world and the invisible net. Your body has an ethereal net. And the world has an ethereal net. And behind every pleasure and every pain is a sacred geometrical shape. Understanding this will help you become a master of your ethereal net and the net of the world, so that you can start shifting your reality through the power of both your higher self and you. Shamans call it your double. So this is a book called The Sorcerer's Crossing, A Woman's Journey by Tasha Abelard. And she actually talks about your double having power and talks about your ethereal nets. So let's read about that. Your ethereal net is a luminosity that surrounds your physical body. This web of energy can get torn to shreds during daily living. Huge portions of your energy will become lost or entwined in other people's bands of energy. I like to use the allegory of our mind. If the entire world is made up of mind, when you talk to people, when you feel them, when you get their telepathic messages, when you believe what they believe, you are now in their band of energy, not your own. Understanding this will help you protect your ethereal net, strengthen it, and keep a boundary from allowing your ethereal net to get entangled into the World Wide Web. If you lose too much vital force because your ethereal net is entangled in someone else's band of energy, you could become sick or die. Breathing works on both the physical and the ethereal levels. Inhalation and exhalation, remote viewing your past and taking back the power that you left behind in the pockets of your past is a secret also. So you can repair the damage to your ethereal net and keep it strong and pliant through breathing techniques. So when you are retrieving back filaments that you've given away and other people are feeding off of it, maybe even higher realms are feeding off of you, you have to become a master and know this so you know how to protect yourself. So, what does your double do? What does your invisible self do? What does your born again self do? Anything you want it to do. It can jump over trees or fly through the air or become large or small or take the shape of an animal, like a horse. It can become aware of other people's thoughts, or it can become a thought and hurl itself in an instant over vast distances. You can start affecting other people's minds. This is where becoming a master becomes complicated, because you'll be like a Jedi where you will be able to affect other people's thoughts. All right, so then people who know about your ethereal net often get into martial arts. It's not the body that people hit you with when you get kicked as a martial artist, if you are hit or kicked. It's your double self that can get hurt, your enemy's soft body. All right, this is your ethereal net, the egg that wraps around your body. So it's not the power of the physical body that is destructive, but an opening that your enemy can make in your ethereal body. They can hurl into that opening a force that rips through the ethereal net to cause major damage. A person may receive what seems to be at the time only a gentle hit, but then hours or perhaps days later, the person may die from that blow. So don't be fooled by outward movements or about what you see. It's about what you don't see that counts. This is why it's very important to collect power so that you can see on the spirit realm, and how to feed your double so that you aren't left unprotected and powerless. So I encourage you guys to get into training your mind and your spirit. Leave the world behind. Leave your own emotions behind. Leave your beliefs behind. Do you know why Jesus said if you don't hate your brother, your mother, your father, your sister, even your own self, you can't make it to heaven? Because we are leaving all these energies behind and focusing on something very important. Do you know why Jesus said, let the dead bury the dead, or any tree that bears no fruit should be cut down and thrown into the fire? Do you know why Jesus told a woman who said, Lord, Lord, please help my daughter, and he said, I don't give bread to dogs? You know why? Because there are principalities and powers that are always behind the mask of the face of a human being. We don't fight flesh and blood. We fight principalities and powers. And some people, although they may be religious, may not be working for the good guys. The good guys are knowledgeable. Jesus said you can be as powerful as him and more. And from what I see, I don't see very many powerful Christians or religious people out there. It's time to step into your power, like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. You grab the golden ticket and you trust and you obey and you start listening. You become like Willy Wonka. You create your own mansion and your own castle and your own school. If you get the golden ticket, you have the opportunity to become like Christ, not meaning that you will, because you don't know who you're dealing with. Some people are an illusion, or they don't have a soul, or they are robotic, or they are a clone, or they are under mind control. If you are like, where'd she go? Oh, there she is. If you're like Veruca Saltz or Mad TV or Violet, where you argue and fight and are spoiled and are disrespectful, and you don't hear spirit, you don't obey spirit, and you treat your holy temple like a piece of garbage, and you just eat anything you want and do anything you want and think whatever you want to think, then you'll get put into the garbage chute. and we will sing a song for you. So it's a serious business. But if you're being called to awaken and start taking your ascension seriously, you're in the right place. Yeah. Mikey says that D. Michael says that they are going to have a Reiki healing session if you want to come on his live later. And I actually saw in a reading for him that he or is a healer. Yes, so. Yeah, breathing. Queen Karma's talking about breathing. I'm going to tell you guys a secret. You guys ready for a secret? How much you want to hear a secret? You take your hands and you shape them like the Vesica Piscis. Your thumbs are down here. Your fingers are up here. Make your hands like the Vesica Piscis with your other hand too. Envision a world in there. Breathe that world in and then close your hands. Get really good at envisioning something in this Vesica Piscis. Envision you as a child right before a traumatic event and say, I'm going to save you from that right now. I'm not going to allow it to happen. I'm going to remote view you before your heart was broken, before you were damaged. And you pull their energy into your now, and you breathe it through this Vesica Piscis hard and deep. And then hurry up and slam your hands closed, because you're opening a portal and you can't keep it open for very long. At first, it's going to feel like you're playing make-believe and pretend. But the more you do it, the more you'll trust and the more it'll work. Make a Vesica Piscis with your hands. Put yourself in a time that wasn't fun, where you lost a lot of power maybe. And you go, before it happened, see yourself, see them, see everything, and quickly breathe it in and then close your hands. And you have opened a portal and breathed in a time, thereby, like the obliviate, you literally take back the power that someone fed up on you through either ignorance or somebody hurting you for whatever reason. You take back your power, because all pain, whether it was from our mother, our father, whatever, left an imprint, an echo. It's still there. Time doesn't exist. It's not linear. It's happening now. So go back there. You're still there. So go back there and be the hero and say, oh, I'm going to be the mother you always needed, the father you always needed, the grandfather, the grandmother, the brother, the sister you always needed now. I'm not going to allow that to happen to you. And breathe it in and know that you brought back the power that you lost, thereby repairing your ethereal net. Do it in water. If you're laying in a bath, it works better for me. I listen to frequencies and I just get into my imagination. And you make this symbol and you breathe in through this portal. But it's quick. Pretend you're a spy and you hold your hands like that and you're like, they don't know I'm here. They don't know I'm going to take my power back. And they don't know that I have this ability, and you're going to take your power back, and then it never happened. You were never hurt. Mm-hmm. If you have memory blocks, then you'll want to listen to some sort of meditation that it's not that you want to indulge in anything that you've forgotten. It's that you need to just trust your higher self to take that power back with you. So when you open your hands like this and you see a castle, or you see a dog, or you see a merry-go-round, or you see a sandbox or a school, don't judge it. Don't try to remember. Just see it and take your power back. Your higher self will put something in your memory. Your higher self will say, okay, do the hand movement. Okay, what do you see? I see an airplane. Okay, breathe that airplane down your throat right now quickly, and then close your hands. And you close your hands. You got your power back. Doesn't matter what happened, because you don't want to indulge in that pain anyway, because indulging in it perpetuates it and keeps you tethered to that timeline. What you're doing is collapsing those timelines so you can have power in this one. So don't worry about whether you remember or not. How long do you inhale and exhale? I mean, to be honest with you guys, this is just something my higher self taught me. I don't even know if it, I'm just saying it works for me. For me, I inhale just like this. I go, but the vision has to be strong and quick. If you indulge too much in it, you'll start losing faith and trust. The longer we focus on it, the more we're like, Don't give yourself even time to question. Do it, breathe in, be done. I don't even really exhale. I just go, and I hold it in for a while. And then after that, my higher self has me activate my entire body like a Merkaba. And suddenly the filaments, if you guys don't follow me on SoundCloud, I'm on Mary Moses SoundCloud. I make a Merkaba and an ethereal net video. And the ethereal net is visualizing bright colored dots all around you. And then connecting those bright colored dots with illuminated lines. Connecting those illuminated lines. This is your ethereal net being repaired and protected and activated. And you're in this web of lines. And then suddenly the lines and the circles disappear and you see a castle and a tree and a spring and fairies and everyone loves you and you have a mother and a father and a brother and a sister and best friends. And you eat flavored bubbles all day and you just fly and are just happy and you envision this amazing world. And you are giggly about it. And when you can hit the center of your inner child spirit, you wouldn't believe how powerful you'll become, how you'll feel. So that's what I do. And I encourage you guys to listen to meditations and really get into sound therapy and sacred geometry, because visualization mixed with sound, mixed with water, mixed with knowing sacred geometry, and all of that will really help. And John's going to help. John, this Saturday, he's going to be teaching us some stuff about clapping our hands, stomping our feet, and speaking particular words. You guys might like to know that the most powerful sound that you can make is ah. It has the highest frequency. So whether it's God or Alleluia, this is a good sound. So, just get into some fun things. Be magical. Let your mind roam free. Don't be afraid. If you can't remember, if you can't hear your higher self, then you have lost power. Collect power to be able to do things that you're meant to do. Yes, natives have many sound cleansing harmonies. Ooh, I love that. Hey, and if you have any suggestions for us, then let us know about what you do. I like the Fibonacci, 1.618. I have many different sounds saved on my phone, and I add them to my music and my videos. But you guys get into the sound that your spirit wants for you. The secret that I know is the perfect sound usually resonates with the number 8. I've actually done a reading on this, and this is eternal life. So anything that adds up to the number 8 or is the number 8 is good. I know that there's 528, and then I liked 963, but I'm not sure about that. But the number 8 is really good. 528 is your favorite, Queen Karma? I love that. You're so welcome. I think it resonates with the heart chakra. So I just want to remind you guys who are here. When I first began this video, we did a very long lesson on water. We talked about water filtered through sand, limestone, volcanic rock, and the different kinds of waters, rainwater, and city water. We talked about adding baking soda, Himalayan sea salt, or extra virgin olive oil to the water. We also talked about tea and infusing bay leaves and adding crystals and sound and magnetism to water. So if you missed it, be aware that I will post it on my YouTube channel by tomorrow, and you can rewatch everything that I know about the foundation of mental and spiritual and physical health is 3 things: water, living water, salt, and olive oil. And then you can add honey to that because honey will make you become a better oracle or whatever. But those are the 3 main things. And so don't miss that, because tomorrow we're going to the springs. I'm going to take you guys to the springs tomorrow, and as long as it doesn't rain. So we did the water class today. And then tomorrow is the springs where we actually talk to the water, and you're going to be surprised how the water has a way to talk. You'll be surprised how water talks to trees and birds and how things come to life. And I want to do it kind of early, because I don't like for other people to be there too much. I want it to be quiet. So it'll be like 9, 10 o'clock, and we'll go there. Then I'm going to the beach. So it's going to be an emerald day. I live on an ancient map called the Emerald Mound. Panama City Beach is known as the Emerald Coast, and the spring waters are emerald. There's Vortex Springs, Ponce de Leon Springs, Cypress Springs, Pitt Springs, Williford Springs, and these springs are living and alive, and it's amazing. If you feel powerless, you'll feel better after watching the emerald colors of the spring water tomorrow, so don't miss it, okay? Well, you guys, I feel like I'm a little drained, and it happens when I do readings, so I'm going to go. I gave my energy, so now I have to learn how to receive. This is the divine marriage of male and female. So I'm going to go and replenish my energy, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Turn on your notifications if you want to see the beautiful springs tomorrow, okay? Or the beach. So I love you, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. You're welcome. I am in Central Time, so just turn on the notifications, and it will notify you regardless what time it is. But I am Central Time. You're welcome. Love you too. Bye-bye.